I'm in Oxford, Maryland, which is the site of Oxford Cemetery, which is where I am right now. And at this cemetery, one of the people that is buried here is Tench Tilghman. Tilghman was a aide-de-camp to George Washington, General George Washington, during the American Revolution. And he was so for much of the war. So he became an aide-de-camp in 1776. So about a year or so into the war, and he lasted throughout the duration until 1781. He, after the war, he he did marry, and he had two uh, daughters, and unfortunately he passed away in 1787. He was only 42. So young. So I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is flip the camera around, and we'll get a look at. He has his grave, and then also a monument. And on the monument, there's a couple of nice memorials to him, including a quote by George Washington. So what I'll do is, it's difficult to read, so I'll read that. So this is the grave of Colonel Tilghman, and you can read some of that. This one's a little clearer than the writing that's on the memorial. One cool thing is here, this is not part of it, but it's the 200th. It was from the decade here where Tilghman was carrying the news of Cornwallis' surrender to Yorktown. So I'll just quickly read this. It says, in memory of Colonel Tench Tilghman, who died April 18, 1786, in the 42nd year of his age, very much lamented. He took an early and active part in the great contest that secured the independence of the United States of America. He was an aide-de-camp to His Excellency General Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the American armies, and was honored with his friendship and confidence, and whose merits were distinguished and honorably rewarded by the Congress. But still more to his praise, he was a good man. And there is a note here that says that his remains were brought here from St. Paul's, which was located in Baltimore, and it says that happened in 1971. So then if we move over here, this is the memorial. You can see it says it's on the page, it's 10 feet high. It actually looks a little taller than that. I'll have to double check that. But on this side, this is difficult to read. The writing is kind of indented a little bit, but I'll do my best shot here. So, Tench Tilghman, Lieutenant Colonel in the Continental Army and aide-de-camp of Washington, who spoke of him thus. So here's the quote, and it says, he was in every action in which the main army was concerned. A great part of the time he refused to receive pay. While living, no man could be more esteemed, and since dead, none more lamented than Colonel Tilghman. No one had imbibed sentiments of greater friendship for him than I had done. He left as fair a reputation as ever belonged to a human character. Died April 18th, 1786, aged 42. So that's a cool little thing. So you can get a little grasp of Tilghman. And the cool thing about Tilghman was that he was, as aide-de-camp, he served with many notable figures such as Alexander Hamilton, John Lawrence, Marquis de Lafayette, and many others. And some of them don't always get the praise that they deserve because they did a lot of work, and without them, Washington would not have been able to be as ultimately successful as he was, and they deserve a lot of recognition for that. So there's one more view of the memorial. And I'm gonna wrap this up.